Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex. Today we're going to be taking a look at my favourite eShop deals covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. This one, it's a solid week with a decent chunk of JRPGs as well, if that is your thing. Without though, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. A quick warning then, I'm currently moving. I'm hoping to be back up and running right around September 14th and back to near daily content, but I did have to record today's video around 2 days in advance, so I'm hoping no massive sales dropped during that time. If they did, I'll make sure to catch up on the next one. I've also got a ton of reviews to bring to you all as well in that window. Then I do have 2 winners to announce for 2 $10 eShop gift cards and 2 more to give away. Enter by dropping a comment down below, and the winners they'll be announced in next week's video. Finally, if you are grabbing anything this week, consider using Cornershop.gg. You can use code CORNER at checkout for 10% off, and that's going to be instant email delivery eShop gift cards. The Falconeer Warrior Edition then to kick us off with 40% off. It's matching the low price, and this one, it's an aerial combat adventure game where you pilot what is a warbird. It's a huge amount of exploration, combat and picking up missions as you try to uncover the mystery of what is this oceanic world and those that inhabit it. I did a preview video on this one on the channel, I'll link that down below in the pinned comment, but it's definitely an impressive game. It's just fast and fluid combat, a good story, multiple characters, and it was perhaps most impressively created by just one guy. The visuals as well, that unique look, almost think cel shaded. That's because there's no texture work at all in this game, and it really ends up paying off. This edition then it packs in the base game as well as the Hunter DLC and Edge of the World DLC. That's going to be a new player class, a flyable dragon, weapons, new quests and even new boss encounters. Yooka-Laylee then is a great budget deal, a new low price, 85% off this one. It's a throwback to classic N64 styled 3D platforming, and it succeeds in many ways. Think solid controls, a visual style and world that pops, and then 2 likeable characters with some fun movesets. That's before you get to the boss encounters as well, the challenges, the puzzles, the mini-games, even the multiplayer support as well. These are think mini arcade games. The story then, you're out to take on Capital B, who's on a mission to absorb all of the world's books. Since release they put a ton of effort into getting it up to scratch as well, but they absolutely deliver. My preferred option though, it's easily got to be Yooka-Laylee and the impossible Lair. This is the follow-up, and here we make the jump from 3D to 2D for the platforming and the world map. It's top down 3D, but it packs in puzzles and reasons to explore. Basically, it makes you want to look around at this world. The levels though are exceptional. It's one of my favourite genre entries on the Switch, and you can find my full review in the pinned comment below. If you do like Donkey Kong though, this game is easily a must-buy. Mortal Kombat 11 then definitely gets a hard time for its visuals on the Switch, and honestly, I get it. For sure a downgrade, but that said, I still do think it has it where it counts on the gameplay front. I've personally just always had a good time with it. Now I actually have the base game personally, but I figure this Ultimate Edition is worth shouting out as it packs in a ton of extra content, and it's matching the low price here, 75% off. One of the best entries though in a long time. This is the base game as well as the expansion, so think here 2 story campaigns, 37 fighters including Rambo, the Terminator, Joker, Robocop to name just a few, thousands of cosmetics, and finally a huge amount of modes. A shout out then to Red Deer Games for sponsoring today's video with their latest release, To Leave, a platformer that's just dropped on the Nintendo Switch, and it's celebrating its launch in typical Red Deer fashion, a 75% discount. This game is actually released on a few other platforms already, including PlayStation, where it's been praised for its gameplay as you pilot what is essentially a magic door. You'll need to navigate though progressively challenging locations in an attempt to reach a checkpoint. If you fail, it's actually going to be back to the last one to try again. It's definitely been noted it dials up that challenge extremely quickly. I'm most curious though myself for the narrative. From what I understand, it's mostly left up to interpretation, but you're attempting to power what's known as the Origin Gate through 8 different temples. This story though will lead to a tale where Harm, our lead, is exploring their mental health, and each level it's gonna be a reflection of just this. Loving the visual style that I'm seeing though, and you can check it out right now over on the eShop. I've linked that in the pinned comment down below. The Cruel King and the Great Hero then is here with 33% off, a new low price in this. It's another one I reviewed here on the channel, find that in the pinned comment below. The gameplay though, a side-on 2D styled RPG where you'll play as a young girl who is out to become a hero, all with the help of your dragon protector. The 2D design, no question, means there's some backtracking, but overall I really enjoyed it. The narrative is very much rooted in fairy tales, and then it's got a ton of collectibles, items, and characters to meet who throw side quests at you as well. Yomawari, the Long Night Collection then is here, matching the low with 63% off, and this, it's an underappreciated horror gem on the Nintendo Switch. Now it might not look like much visually, but do not let that deceive you. It can be incredibly creepy, this one, and it packs 2 games bundled together as well. That's going to be Night Alone. In this one, you're a young girl searching for her sister, and then Midnight Shadows, it has 2 girls exploring this world, looking over this mysterious town. I stumbled across this one accidentally. In fact, back at launch, I came across the collector's edition in store, decided to pick it up, and I did not regret it. I even ended up liking the visual style as well, especially the ghosts who definitely creep up slowly on you, but it knows how to catch that intensity. Neon Abyss then is another good budget option. It's here with 60% off, a new low price. It's a run and gun roguelite that has you fighting your way through a constantly evolving dungeon. The best bits for me gotta be the bar, the title Neon Abyss that kind of punctuates each run, just has a ton of charm, and then finally the weapons, just an incredibly varied selection. I did find the rooms, the locations, even though randomized, can get a little repetitive eventually, but they've shown it a lot of support since launch, including a free update which added in new levels and new boss encounters. Like any roguelite as well, do not come here looking for an easy game, you will not find it, but it is a fun one to master at a more than fair price. The Good Life then is my pickup of the week. First off, as always, not a recommendation. Maybe you want to join me for the ride though, and this is going to be an extremely risky pickup. I want to put that out there first and foremost, but I do love personally a B-movie-esque styled experience, and this one it comes from the creator of Deadly Premonition, Swery. It's a game that's considered awful by many, but loved by a cult following, and I definitely fell into the latter. It seems we're kind of getting the same here then, that's why I'm jumping in. It's got performance issues that are supposed to be definitely rocky, but for me that might actually enhance kind of, the vibe he goes for. And then there's a weird story centered around solving mysteries as a human, a cat or a dog. That's because you're able to transform. The idea though, you're a journalist that does this alongside getting paid for photos and exploring the town. You just get to kind of enjoy this world, solve a few mysteries along the way. I couldn't pass it up. Again though, high risk, a new low price, so that's 30% off, definitely still not cheap. Our first winner of the week then is going to Senex, who watches the videos on a Sunday morning, and I do appreciate it. Congrats Senex, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, there's a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. Ease 9 Monstrum Nox to kick off the final 3. This is an action RPG with a new low price, 50% off. Reviewed it here on the channel, find that in the pinned comment below. But the story, we're following a character by the name of Adol, who is cursed and becomes a monstrum. These are beings essentially capable of taking down monsters. We are looking to escape this town though and fight back, and there's this huge adventure ahead of us. There's a ton of mechanics in here, though a huge story as well, given the fact it's an RPG, so I'm going to say here, refer to my full review if that kind of caught your interest. The main problem though I have, I'll tell you this now, the frame rate often struggles, so do consider this a recommendation with compromises. If you do have maybe another option, maybe go there first. I can see it's on sale for PlayStation as well. Overall though, look, fun combat, interesting world, interesting narrative, and that ended up keeping me locked in. Our second winner of the week then, that is Defelico, who shouted out Chenzo Club and the massive backlog. I think everyone watching this knows that feeling of a backlog. Congrats though, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. Our final games, and I'm putting two together here, Trails of Cold Steel 3 and Trails of Cold Steel 4. The latter is the Digital Deluxe, something I rarely recommend, but it's matching the low we've seen on the base game, so you'll get a few cosmetics thrown in here as well. The third, though, it is 58% off, a new low price, and then the fourth, that is 50% off, and again a new low. I love these games, I've reviewed them both on the channel, find those videos in the pinned comment below. The third was actually my first experience with the series, and it pushed me to go back and check out the first two entries, which is rare, so absolute respect for this world and the characters that they have built. It's not the best looking game either, but it's a huge cast with some solid writing as we take on the role of Reen Schwarzer from working at a combat school to all-out war. I do think though the third does a decent job of catching you up should you want to skip straight to that and not wait the releases of the first two on the Switch. Definitely wouldn't recommend jumping straight to 4 though. These are both entries then in the long running Legend of Hero series, and I especially wanted to shout them out today because next up later this month we are getting Trails from Zero, a first time in English release for a game from 2010. Really excited to check that one out, and hopefully we'll have coverage here on the channel. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library or holding onto that cash? With that then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.